I'm not sure if you're thinking what I'm thinking, mate, but
Rarely the case.
rarely the case. But what I'm thinking, we might have to act like a footy podcast this week, maybe just for this week, considering the weekend of footy that we just witnessed.
Yeah, I think that's a fair comment, actually. It was a weekend like no other.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's ever a podcast that I would back to be a footy podcast, probably anyone but us.
Anyone but us.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Strap yourself in, folks. We'll see how this goes. Hello and welcome to another episode of Fine Leg to Full Forward. We're back again. It's finals. Life's pretty good.
Life is pretty good at the moment.
Yeah, you reckon?
Yep.
We like to hear that. You going well then?
Going well. Had a nice weekend.
You did. We touched on how good the weekend of footy was.
Yeah.
How much footy did you watch on your weekend away?
My weekend away
to Bendigo?
in Bendigo. I watched pretty much all of the Brisbane Richmond game because that was before I left.
I was going to say you were still here for that.
And I caught snippets when I was walking around the streets of Bendigo, like, you know, when you can sort of look through the window of a pub
you were watching people watch the footy?
Yeah. They also had big screens set up in Bendigo, like massive screens on the equivalent of Burke Street, like the pedestrian street.
Oh, yeah. Like the main strip.
That one. There were a couple of big screens set up, so caught a little bit.
Okay.
A few seconds. Yeah.
A few seconds. Look, unbelievable round of footy, and we are actually going to talk a little bit about it this week because we were as footy fans across the country, we sport for footy.
Yeah, I definitely went through. I put the time in after to go through all the games.
To be fair, you did
because, they all. We'll get into it. Well, I don't want to jump into it yet. How was your weekend?
Yeah, it was good. It was it was really good. Went to the footy.
You did?
Yeah, I know we're not talking about it, so I'll talk about the non-footy side of it. I won't talk about the game.
Yeah, okay.
Specifically.
Yeah.
So I think I might have mentioned on the show last week I went to the qualifying final, Geelong Collingwood with my old man.
Yep.
Amazing atmosphere. Biggest footy crowd I reckon I've been to ever. Certainly the biggest I can remember.
Yeah. Was it a pain getting in and getting out? Like how did you drive or take the train?
Drove, but yeah.
Drove.
The handy part of working nearby is I was able to park at the office, which is close but far enough away to just kind of walk to and be clear of all the mess.
Beautiful.
So able to walk across and then duck straight off. So worked out pretty well.
I think I have driven to either the footy or the cricket or something at the MCG once, and that was the last time.
Yeah, was that the BBL, the Melbourne?
The Derby?
Yeah.
It might have been, and there was like 90 something. There was about 90,000 there.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to the game till halfway through the second innings.
I'll do you one better. That same game, we gave up.
You didn't.
We turned around and drove home.
You went home.
Yeah, could not find a park anywhere.
Yeah, ridiculous.
But yeah, and like ridiculous game. Like, you know what I'm like as a Geelong fan. I'm quite stressed and was riding the emotions quite heavily at the MCG.
Yes, you were.
I was sitting in the Geelong members bit, so it was nice to see some friendly faces around in what was a heavily Collingwood favoured crowd.
Would you say it was like mainly?
Yeah, Collingwood heavily outnumbered Geelong in the crowd,
right?
Which I don't think surprised too many people, to be honest.
Yeah.
But the intensity of the end of the game. So the second last goal that Geelong kicked we've all got out of our seat. We're quite into it, but the second last goal in particular, we all jump out of our seats, we're celebrating. Yeah, arms up in the air.
Yeah.
My old man had a minor operation a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
He's totally fine, but the ferocity he put his arms up with, he thought that he tore one of the stitches on his stomach.
Oh gosh!
So he's like, yeah, oh. And then
that's scary.
It's all right. We checked him out. We checked him out after the game. He's all good.
Yeah.
He's all good. But then the last goal that Geelong kicked, I was cheering and I got lightheaded. I thought I was going to pass out.
Really?
Yeah.
Like you dizzy or like?
Yeah, went lightheaded and I had to hold on to my old man's shoulder. I'm like, oh, Dad, I think I'm going down. I don't know if it was the part of my, I don't know if this is how life works, but I don't know if it was like the part of like how far through my breath I was before I started screaming. So my brain was like temporarily starved of oxygen for a second, and I just I don't know if there's any truth behind that.
Right.
But yeah, I just thought I'd sneak that one in here. Just talk about how the Critchlow men are a bunch of pussies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you celebrate hard.
Yeah.
You can say that with confidence.
Like, ride the losses hard as well, mate.
Yeah.
Anyway, shall we, did we have anything else we wanted to mention before we got into Run It Back?
I went to the dentist today.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's that?
It was good.
Pretty routine checkup?
Well, I don't know if you call it routine. First time since, well, we're not going to talk about it, but that. So, yeah, been about 3 years or so.
Yeah,
and,
right. You're doing better than most.
Yeah.
Better than some.
But I think I want to go to the dentist more now.
Your teeth feel like extra clean?
I keep feeling up my teeth with my tongue. It's like you just keep doing it. But I don't know. It was really nice. It was really good. It was strange. I was just going in for this first time since pre-COVID and everything. But I was like, now that I've done it, I really want to go again. I've booked it in for 6 months from now, and I'm like, it just feels good.
Well, I guess I made the mistake of asking if there was anything else you wanted to talk about before we go to Run It Back. So that's on me, guys. Let's
run it back.
Yeah, we'll move on, I reckon. So this week we're going to be Run It Back through everyone's favourite dentist trips. You've had no, obviously running it back. It is the height of it's the peak of the footy season, the finals.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing we wanted to mention,
Zimbabwe beat Australia in a one-day international.
They did.
Incredible.
What they rolled him for? Sorry, they rolled him for.
That? Oh, your ring on the
watch. Yeah,
it had an interesting sound.
It did, didn't it? That was
kind of want to sample that.
Sample that.
Okay. Zimbabwe beat Australia for the first time on Australian soil.
Yeah, they rolled him for what, 141 or something?
Yeah. So their leggy name escapes me.
Burl?
Ryan Burl?
Ryan Burl, I think, something like that, yeah.
Took Pfeiffer.
He did,
Pfeiffer 10 or something.
Yeah. Only legends have those as their best bowling figures.
And, rolled Australia for 140 odd. David Warner scoring about 94 of those 140 runs.
Yeah. I think it's the second highest percentage
of runs for a team.
Yeah, from one person.
Yeah.
In ODI cricket.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then they had troubles of their own with the bat, but
they were 8 down, was it? 8 down when they passed the score?
But got there in the end, so congrats to Zimbabwe.
Yeah, no, we love that.
Historic. Absolutely love seeing teams like that just get up and we've said it right from the start. We are all about the underdogs here.
We absolutely are. We love an underdog.
Yeah. Rags to riches.
Absolutely.
But there was a bit of footy that happened on the weekend.
There was. But just before we move on from cricket.
More cricket.
Australia, New Zealand, first ODI is happening right now in fine leg to full forward land.
Yes, it is.
New Zealand were 9 for 232 off their 50.
Yep.
Australia are now none for 10 off 2.1. So Finchy is 5 off 2. Well done, Finchy. I think that's his best in quite a few innings.
In a little while.
Tell you what I'll do. We'll go back.
You're going to jinx something. You're going to somehow jinx something.
Yeah, but we'll check back later and see what the score is.
When we get to switch on, or
we'll see. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So there was a lot of footy on this weekend, and as we've mentioned, the best week of finals footy I can remember.
Yeah.
You same?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, when I got around to rewatching everything, the quality of each game, if you take it apart, would have been the game for the round from a normal week of footy.
Yeah, and there's probably something that we could have chosen from each of those games to be like, that's what we're going to run with this
Run
week.
It back, yeah.
Yeah, because it's just such an amazing, as we said, spoiled as footy fans. So what we're going to do, as you know as listeners, we'd handpick a couple of games, 2 or 3 or 4 games. There was only 4 this weekend, so we're going to go through all of them.
Yeah, why not?
And we're going to work our way backwards through the weekend.
Yeah.
You might be able to figure out why by the time we get there.
Progressively running it back more and more.
Yeah. So did you want to take the first?
Yeah. I will start with Freo versus the Dogs.
You might want to skip ahead a minute or so if you're a Dogs fan.
Oh, yeah. 54-point turnaround. This is just because it's a home final for Freo as well, right? So I can't imagine the feeling when they're 42-1. I think it was in the second quarter. 42-1. You've got a home final. I can't imagine.
Just making noise for no reason. Sorry.
I wonder how many people would have left the game at that point in time. I know second quarter is very early to leave a game.
Yeah, but I mean, how do you blow a 42-1 lead?
Yeah,
and it's like Freo aren't really known for big scores, so you could say extending on that, they're not really going to score quickly all that often.
Accelerate, but
they would have had to.
Yeah,
we ended up winning by 13, whatever it was.
Yeah. It was incredible.
So the dream's still alive.
The dream is well and truly. I either want Freo or Brisbane to win.
Well, you picked Brisbane, didn't you, at the start of the season?
Yeah, but I you know what? I think I want Freo to win the whole thing now.
So you're a true believer in flag mantle.
A flag mantle? Is this a thing? Is this a?
Yeah, it's been a thing on socials all season.
Really?
Yeah.
Flag mantle.
Flag mantle.
I'm about
because
that.
you got the flag pies, the flaggers.
Okay.
Flag mantle.
Okay.
I don't know if there's any more.
How good the story be, right? First ever flag. And Mundy retires as a docker by winning a flag. Like that.
It seals him as the best ever docker, I reckon, in my opinion, if that happens.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna keep going.
Keep running it back.
The ball rolling backwards. Geelong Collingwood won't really talk too much about my experience there.
Yeah.
Obviously I was at the game.
Yes.
Thriller. Intense. Packed MCG, which is amazing to see after.
Where were you sitting, by the way? I don't think I asked.
Up in level 4.
Like way up, like right at the back of the MCG?
No, you know when you just get to the top of the stairs and you see the seats. Yep. If you right at the back, you start your arduous trek up the top.
Further up, yeah.
Like you turn out of the stairs.
Yep.
And we're like 2 or 3 rows.
Yeah.
So high, but like pretty good view.
Yeah.
Pretty good view.
You still get to see everything.
All we could get at at that stage. Obviously, sell out. Pretty sold out pretty quickly. Gary Rowan criticised heavily over the years for his
finals performances, particularly, right? Yeah,
rightly so.
Yeah,
rightly so. Yeah. But had some massive moments on Saturday, and could argue that he was the difference, if not one of the key differences.
Yep. Yep. Stood up.
He
definitely stood up.
He did. Yeah. But I mean, Collingwood, those close games. Like my old man said, we're either going to win by like 5 or 6 goals.
Yeah. Or
if it's close, we'll lose.
Yeah.
It's a comfortable win.
Yeah.
Or a loss. Like there's no in between.
Yeah. Well, if you're losing to Collingwood, you're losing by less than 5 points. Anyway, but I remember you sent me a message and you were like, they deserve to win. You said that.
I don't feel like Geelong deserve to win. No, they're looking back. I watched the highlights from the fourth quarter, maybe the next day or maybe it was yesterday. I can't remember.
Yeah,
and there was some skill errors towards the end, like in the last 4 or 5 minutes, where Geelong really didn't have as many, which looking back was probably the difference.
The difference in the game. But
I mean, Jordan De Goey was unbelievable.
Yep.
Jeremy Cameron was great as well. It was a fucking good game.
Yeah.
A fucking good game, and one that probably deserved to go down to the wire.
Yeah,
I think. Did I take all of that? I probably didn't I? Sorry.
You deserved to. You went to the game. You actually went to the game.
I watched it. All right. Keep it running, mate. Keep it running.
Melbourne versus Sydney, which, look, out of the 4 games, probably the least, I wouldn't say at least entertaining. It was definitely, it would have been entertaining, but
it was the biggest margin.
The biggest margin, I guess.
Yeah.
But by no means was it an easy win for Sydney.
It still felt very intense, probably up until like the last 2 or so minutes. Where it's like, okay, it's
the last quarter.
Now.
Yeah. I think the story thread throughout was probably the Buddy versus May.
Did you see that whole saga?
Yeah.
Obviously after the fact.
They had it in the highlights, and they sort of each encounter was sort of brought up. Has that always been a thing? I didn't.
What, Buddy versus May?
Yeah.
No, not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, okay.
No.
I wasn't sure if I was missing something.
No, well, May never mentioned that to me.
He didn't?
No.
Okay.
No, not really.
If he didn't say anything, I guess he...
Yeah. Although, obviously I mentioned that me and May and Melkshi were all pretty good mates.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
There was a couple of instances there where I was definitely in agreement with May about the things that were mentioned about Melkshi.
Oh yeah, over the weekend.
Well, you know his comments.
Yeah.
He didn't play well. He didn't have a good game, did Melkshi?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I reached out. He's just kind of keeping his distance a little bit.
I reckon you need to have another chat to both of them because at this rate, I think Melbourne's should have the best team in the league on paper, and I think there's something up with May and Melkshi, and I feel like you need to be the bridge between. You need to talk it out, and you got to solve whatever it is because otherwise they're going to lose another final and they'll be out, mate. They can't afford to do that.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
I absolutely agree with what you're saying. But it's also, if they beat Brisbane, then they play Geelong in the prelim, so it's not really super high on my to-do list. If that's all right with you.
Right. Okay. So you'd rather verse? Yeah. Okay. I see where you're going.
I said there's no easy games.
No.
But why would I want to rev them up if it ends up being successful and they come up against Geelong?
And they come
against,
you know what I mean? Yeah. You've pretty much shot yourself in the foot there, haven't you?
Yeah. Anyway.
Sorry.
Footy.
Footy.
Swans were really good.
Yes, but May did a good job on Buddy.
He did. He kept him scoreless.
Mate.
I think it's less than 10 times in his career that he's been completely scoreless.
It's a pretty good record.
Yeah, it is.
Jake Lloyd and Luke Parker were fantastic for the Swans.
Yes, yeah, they were. And Clayton Oliver tried everything he could.
A few bandages and
yeah,
battered and bruised.
He could do with he needs all the help he can get in that department. I know, a bit rich coming from someone like me.
What do you mean by that?
Being covered in bandages with your nose being pushed like this.
Yeah.
Where do you go? Look, yeah, it was an excellent photo. I don't know. It was one of the Herald Sun photographers.
I don't think I've seen this photo.
You've not seen that photo?
No, I haven't.
Yeah,
I have now.
It might circulate on the pod page. I think it was Kleiny, the Herald Sun.
Looks like something from like The Mummy or something.
Yeah, fucking fantastic photo.
Yeah,
but yeah,
there you go.
Swans have had the D's number lately. I didn't realise
what the last few,
like going back like 10, 11, 12 years.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Just a consistently.
Consistently.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just head to head.
It's not every one.
Yeah.
but I don't think Melbourne have won many against them at all.
Interesting.
And there was a draw. There was a draw in 2011, and I was there. There's a fun fact for you.
Fun fact. Yeah. There you go.
Might have been 2010.
Okay.
Anyway, what else happened?
One more game of footy that I watched.
Oh, you did watch this one. Brisbane versus Richmond.
Yep.
Brisbane versus Richmond. Chris Fagan finally got. Is
that his first ever?
I believe it's as Brisbane coach. I think it's his first finals win.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, intense game from start to finish.
Yeah.
The margin was under 3 goals for the entire game, and when it was the biggest margin, it wasn't very long. It was always a goal, never too far away. Lachie Neale was
everywhere. Should
there have been someone somewhat nearby to him at any point during the game?
Tag on him?
Maybe. I mean, he had 39 touches, and all the other stats were ridiculous as well.
Yeah, I think I checked it. Half time he had 20 or 21 or something, and most of those were contested, and just unbelievable. I think I was watching at that point. I was at the pub, and it was a point where I think McInerney had got injured, and was it straight after that when who was a Richmond bloke that got injured as well?
Prestia
around the same time, and it was like one got injured, the other one got injured, and it's like even, like it's like who's got the advantage sort of thing. Tight the whole way through. Was it 3 goals max the margin?
That was the biggest margin. Yeah. But I mean, I've mentioned him before. I know we've mentioned him on the show, but he's a good friend of the show, Hugh McCluggage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, watching the game, he was a standout for me.
Played a great game.
Other than Lachie Neale, he was he was there in the important moments.
Yep.
Yeah, he's lethal off half back, and
there was the moment at the end.
Yeah, we're dilly dallying around the controversy, aren't we?
We don't like
arc.
controversy. The arc.
Yeah, which is ironic because you and your big calls, mate.
Well, how long was it before the end of the game? It was probably like in the last couple of minutes, right?
Yeah, it was before Joe Danaher kicked the last goal.
Yeah, that was in pretty much with a minute to go.
Yeah.
And then...
a minute or two before that.
But yeah.
So it was the outside of the boot, banana. Set shot banana.
Over the post.
Yeah, well, what do you think? Was it over the post? Was it a goal? Was it a behind? What are your thoughts?
I don't even know the rules. If it's directly over the post,
it's a behind.
It's a behind
because you act like the post just keeps going.
It just keeps going infinitely, right? Yeah, I guess so. I guess it's a behind then, but it just depends on how confidently you can state it. I don't know.
This is the thing. This is the surprising thing because you look at one angle, you go, "Oh yeah, it's over the post." You look at one angle, you go, "Oh, I'm not so sure."
Yeah,
but the goal umpire called a goal.
The initial on-field decision.
Yeah.
Tom
Lynch didn't really react.
I did notice that too. If he had been like, yeah, would that have changed?
I don't know.
Yeah. See, that's an interesting thought.
And then the other point was the umpire controlling the arc. I don't know how it works, whatever. It didn't take very long.
Yeah.
It did not take very long at all. Like,
they're confident, mate. They're confident in their job.
Yeah.
Everyone pressing the buttons is very confident in what they do.
Yeah. Not a wrong button could ever be pressed.
Yeah. Just back yourself in.
Bit of foreshadowing from, the next couple of minutes. But it was like, it felt like super quick, and then it was, looking from this angle, you can clearly see the ball's over the behind post. Like, yeah, you can probably tell from that angle, but you pause it in the same spot, and that angle's showing something slightly different.
Yeah.
It's just the fact, and I guess that's why Dimmer was so salty, for want of a better word, because you needed conclusive evidence, and maybe it wasn't there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Richmond's a great story, so we'll see what happens with them for the rest of the final series. But we're a footy podcast. We got all that shit out of the way now.
We spent an enormous amount of time talking about footy.
Too much. I feel sick to my stomach. But I mean, that's what finals does.
Have some water.
Have some water. All right. Well, we can't both have. We'll just do it
at the same time.
We're just having a water break. Just bear with us, guys.
These mugs are good.
Fuck.
They're good.
How good's a mug? Yeah. We'll sort merch out.
Oh yeah.
Soon.
That'll happen.
Soon.
Yeah.
It's soon to be soon.
Soon to be soon.
What are we saying? Yes. Obviously, footy. We've spoken footy.
Mm-hmm. We have.
The reason we've gone backwards through the week is because there was one thing that happened on Thursday night.
Yes.
And it's probably the only thing that's happened that's fine leg to full forward appropriate, isn't it?
For this week.
That we cherry pick and go, yeah, we're going to run with that.
We're going to pick that.
What happened, mate? Talk us through it.
Well, so, very close game, extremely close game. The Lions kick a goal in the last minute to win the game.
Yes.
They've won the game.
Amazing story.
And the Richmond theme song begins to play.
Yeah, it did.
Someone's pressed the wrong button.
They've pressed the wrong button. I mean, given how intense the finish was, and I assume there's Brisbane fans out there that are the equivalent of me just being so stressed all the time.
Yeah.
If it was me, I would have heard I'd be celebrating like a madman.
Yeah.
Would have heard the Richmond song and gone, holy shit, what the fuck? And look back at the scoreboard.
Yeah.
I would have shat myself.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
so
you'd immedly just second guess yourself. Absolutely.
Yeah. But
especially if you're lightheaded.
I wasn't even drinking or anything. Anyway. So the wrong button was pressed.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we're running with. We're going to run through some other moments where the wrong button, we can't say for sure whether there's an actual button.
Yeah, if there's a button.
It might be like a metaphorical button.
We do like metaphorical buttons. So I will start with...
We do love metaphorical buttons.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Kick her off, mate. Kick her off.
I will kick it off with the 2015 Brownlow medalist.
All right.
Who won? Who won the Brownlow medal in 2015?
Who won the... Pritis was 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Was it the first one that Fife won?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
At Fife. It was the one when our stats man Richard changed his profile picture with the cane. And
I haven't commented on that one for a while. I'm going to do that now. No, you keep going. I'm going to comment. I haven't commented bump on it for ages.
You bump it every year, don't you? It's a routine.
Yeah. Anyway,
so Nat Fife did win the Brownlow medal on this particular year, but for a brief moment, according to the AFL, AFL.com.au,
mm-hmm.
It was Sam Mitchell that won the Brownlow.
Oh, yeah.
During the count, during the ceremony, someone's obviously pressed some sort of metaphorical button, and there was actual merch that was created in 2015 that had, Sam Mitchell as the Brownlow medalist. There was a signed jersey, framed signed jersey. 2015 Brownlow medalist Sam Mitchell for sale on a website as the count was ongoing, and I'd find that. See, that's something I probably would buy just for the meme because it's kind of funny.
Well, it was listed for like $1,200 or something.
That's
by the time it was taken down. Yeah, I mean, working at the AFL, right? No matter what your position is, you'd think that you'd have some idea of what's going on Brownlow night. Would you say it's one of the biggest nights? Probably the biggest, in terms of night events in the AFL. It's probably
the thing that we were both confused about when we were going through this was we were going through that season. We were going through round by round. How many votes each player polled, and we were like, okay,
it was a research week this week.
It was definitely talking about footy. Fife was the one that was clearly in front. He was sort of injured towards the back end of the season.
Yeah.
But if anyone, you would have sort of maybe, jumped the gun, you would have gone with Fife, because it wasn't like Mitchell had an incredible first half of the year or was well ahead or anything like that. So I have no idea.
Just the wrong button, mate.
It's just the wrong button.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There you go.
There you go, mate.
All right. I'm going to run it back to a little earlier in that same year.
Yep.
I'm going to run it back to BBL 04. The Strikers versus, I think it was the Scorchers. I'm not 100% sure. I watched the video and I think I wrote down Scorchers.
Yep.
Craig Simmons. Remember him?
Yes, I do.
A couple of unreal centuries in the Big Bash. I think for the Scorchers.
Yes.
Yeah. There you go. But this was when he was at the Strikers. He was called... He was stumped. All right?
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you who the bowler was, but he was stumped, and the square leg umpire called for the third umpire, which happens pretty much every time there's a stumping decision to be had, or a run out decision. More often than not, they call for it.
Yeah.
He thought he was out, so he slowly started walking off. Making his way away from the square towards the boundary.
Yeah.
The replays were on the big screen as they are. You got the dramatic music playing while the third umpire's making his decision.
Yep.
You could see that his foot was clearly in the air.
Yep.
Everyone's like, oh, okay, no, it's
he's
going
out.
to be out.
Yeah.
He thought he was out. He's walking off.
Yeah.
Replay shows that he's out.
Yeah.
No problem. Then not out appears on the screen. Everyone's understandably super confused.
Yeah.
Simmons suddenly big grin on his face.
Yeah.
Starts walking back to the centre square as most people would, right?
I guess so. Yeah. It would be very strange if you got tangible evidence that you're out, and then
this is what the commentators are saying. This is what the commentators are trying to work out. So there was then when that came up on the screen, there was another angle put on the TV coverage.
Yeah.
And the commentators trying to work out if the keeper didn't have full control of the ball, like if he broke the bails
without the ball.
So
Okay.
Well, that's the only reason he's not out in this scenario.
Yeah.
But nah, it was all good. So then eventually out.
Pops up on the screen.
Came up on the screen and he started walking off again.
How far did he get back to get back to the crease?
I don't know if he got back to the. I don't know if he got fully back to the crease.
Takes centres again.
Yeah. Yeah, that was just the wrong button, and it's happened before. I know it's happened. Mike Hussey was given out against India.
Yeah.
When he was not out. And the same thing happened to Azhar Ali against Australia when he was on 93. So nervy moment for him. But yeah, as a third umpire, it does happen. And you think it'd be, I imagine, not that I've ever been into the third umpire box, but there's not a green button and a red button. I know there used to be.
Yes. It used to be the little green light and the red light.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
But no, they just pressed the wrong button on those times.
Button.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to divert slightly.
We love going off centre.
Certain tangents, yeah. As a footy podcast, we like to talk about cricket.
During the final series.
Remember,
the finals is happening. We're a footy podcast.
Yeah.
Take it away.
We also like talking about things that aren't footy or cricket sometimes.
More than we should.
Like the 2002 VMAs.
None of you guys are expecting that.
Yeah. You just don't know what's coming at you, right?
In fairness, neither do we.
Yeah, that's very true. This one isn't so much a wrong button, more of I don't think there was a button. It's just a complete misunderstanding.
Yeah. Yep.
So Britney Spears...
She wasn't in the boat bracket, was she?
I don't think she was.
Fuck.
She should have been.
It's a missed opportunity.
Absolutely. So this is 2002 VMAs, and it happened this year. It happened to coincide with Michael Jackson's birthday.
Yes.
So as they do at some of these award ceremonies, if there's someone famous, a massive celebrity there, they kind of celebrate their birthday. I think I've seen it happen a few times before.
Yeah, so I've just remembering what happened and cringing all over again.
So there was a cake that was sort of cut for Michael Jackson, and when she was she sort of introduced him.
Yeah.
Sort of, so this person, is an icon. She referred to Michael Jackson as, just in passing, casually. She was like, he's the artist of the millennia.
She said, I believe he's the artist of the millennium.
Yeah. So, yeah, just like for her, like personally. Yes. And then she says, happy birthday, brings him out to cut the cake and whatnot. He comes out, and he believes that he's actually getting an award for being the artist of the millennium. So he begins a thank you speech.
He pulls out like he's got a paper prepared.
He's like, I never dreamed that I would one day be the artist of the millennium.
And you could hear it in the crowd. They've gone, okay.
I think he started referencing like James Brown and stuff. James Brown probably should have been the artist in the millennium, but complete misunderstanding. And it was just gold, mate. I don't know if it was the wrong button. I don't know what was on the teleprompter, if there was a teleprompter. But maybe someone pressed the wrong button.
Maybe MJ just pressed the wrong button in his mind. Maybe that's what's happened. Yeah. Nah, well, I like that you've mentioned that, and the reason that we have gone that one, even though there's no button per se, is because with these honourable mentions, they're quite similar scenarios, but that one's just the funniest. Yeah. So the honourable mentions, and it'll make sense now. You've got the Oscars in 2017, I believe. Yes. When La La Land won instead of Moonlight. Moonlight was the actual winner.
Then there was Steve Harvey in 2015 announcing the wrong winner of Miss Universe.
Yeah, and that became quite a massive meme, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
And then Australia's Next Top Model in 2010 when the host got it wrong and then made it all about her.
I feel sick. I feel right.
So getting forward, we're just going to move away from whatever rabbit hole we ended up going down. Mm-hmm. We've calmed down. We've grown up. It's been a couple of seconds, but we've matured. Yeah. All these things, all these scenarios that we've run it back through, they've all happened because of just a human error, right? Yeah. Everybody makes mistakes.
Everyone does.
Everybody has those days.
We're all human.
I don't know the next lyric. But I want you, I'm asking of you now, mate, can you please, because I get so stressed when it comes to this kind of stuff.
You do.
Can you give me a foolproof way to avoid pressing the wrong button?
I know what lots of people will think. Lots of people would say, you've mentioned human error, human. They'd be like, well, just automate it. Just get rid of humans altogether. Have the computer do it.
The AI. And I couldn't disagree anymore because technology always plays up. It does. The amount of times we've had fucking late nights because something's gone wrong with the sound, or we've had to re-record an entire episode because the mics decided to make us sound like robots. Yeah. For no reason. Yeah, no, I agree. I think maybe like it kind of links to my switch on question actually, but I reckon, like when you click on something and then it's like it comes up with are you sure? Like just something like that, like another button, like a button and then a confirmation button. Just something like that. Just a two-step process, bang, bang, that's it. I thought of an IT crowd reference that I'll show you afterwards. No, I like that. It's a good shout. Yeah. It's like, if it's you're the third umpire, you got to press, say red, and then red again. Maybe like, for example, with the theme song or whatever, it plays like a little sample of the song just to make sure you're 100% playing the right one. Like you click on it and then it starts to play, like just in your headphones, it plays like a little sample of it. And it's like, are you sure you want to play this? And then you can go,
Yes. So, running it back, what an absolutely incredible...
Switch on.
Oh, sorry about that. Might have been the wrong button, but time for switch on, I think. You got some questions for me, mate?
It is time for switch on, and I do have some questions. So, I'm just going to get right into it, if that's okay. Footy podcast, the height of the final series. With that in mind, in 2009,
yes,
Disturbia by Rihanna won Best International Song at the NRJ Music Awards.
Track. It's a track.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. Don't know what the NRJ Music Awards are. Who thought that she'd won this award?
Someone else thought that they won the award.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just think about the theme of the night and some of the events that we've spoken about.
When was the... No, okay.
It was 2009. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the Taylor Swift Kanye thing, that whole thing. That's not 2009, was it?
I don't actually know.
I feel like it was around that time.
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Was it Taylor Swift?
It wasn't Taylor Swift.
Okay.
No, it was Katy Perry.
Oh.
With I Kissed a Girl.
Did she get up to...
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Again, we're not confident about the NRJ. We're not very familiar with the...
No.
More familiar with the VMAs, but...
Yeah. But no, she thought she won.
Yeah.
So she has pressed the wrong internal button there. She was supposed to press gratitude.
Yes.
Or like gracious defeat.
Yes.
No, yeah,
yes.
She was supposed to hit gracious defeat, and she pressed gratitude. Anyway, that was a nice quick one. Question 2. Footy podcast, the height of final series.
Footy.
If Collingwood...
Yeah.
See? Footy. If Collingwood were to beat Freo this weekend, do you think that Collingwood players would mind if the Freo song was accidentally played after the game, given that it's such a track?
I don't know how to answer that.
Switch on, mate.
I got to switch on. I guess I just never really thought about it. The Freo, I guess I just want Freo to win. So
you do.
So
that's not what I asked. Though,
I kind of want to hear the song. Look, I reckon it depends on how close the game was.
Yeah,
I reckon if it gets to that point where it's like so close, like the Brisbane Richmond game, it's sort of like it's quite. Oh, geez, what? You second guess yourself, but it's quite a thumping. Then have a bit of a laugh.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
I feel like the quick answer is, well, no, they've won and they're into a prelim, so who cares?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
I just really want overcomplicate it.
I just really want Freo to go through, though.
We'll see. Anyway, that's all I've got for you this week.
Cool. I've only got 2 for you this week as well. Question 1. All the Jerry West. For Barn. Let's say you're in charge of things at the Gabba, right? You're in charge.
Go me.
Yeah.
Good on you. Rex to riches.
Yeah. Would you employ someone to check if the person employed to press the buttons press the right button?
Just the way you asked that question was so funny. Yeah, sure.
Would you?
Yeah, it's a really responsible use of budget, isn't it? Just watching someone
else. Yeah. You're not even watching the buttons. You're watching someone else.
Yeah, you're watching their finger.
Yeah.
And there'd be games where you don't need the replay center.
Yeah.
Nah, I'd do your
confirmation.
Yeah. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'd do. How about you? What'd you do?
It would be.
Hold on, just before you do. This could be anything. Brace yourselves.
What? No, come on. Now, I'm not that weird. I would love the idea of someone getting paid, I don't know, $50 an hour to stand and watch if someone else is going to press a button at the end of the game. That would be quite funny, I think. But I probably, if I'm in charge of things, I probably wouldn't be in charge for very long, I think.
Yeah. No, you'd like to be the person getting paid $50 an hour to do fuck all. Yeah.
Question 2. Would you rather be a third umpire in cricket or an arc official in footy?
Oh, third umpire for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is that?
Well, I mean, obviously it's been around for longer, so it's a more accepted part of the game.
Yeah.
But with that aside, the reason that the third umpire gets involved is because there's an appeal.
Yes.
They're literally asking the question.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's then if it's a review or if the umpires ask for the third umpire, they're literally being asked to make a decision.
Correct. Yeah. So because they're being asked to do it, there's less pressure on them?
Yeah. I guess so. I think, and just because it's not as fast paced as footy.
Yeah.
You know, the criticism of the ARC is that it takes so long, and it takes excuse me, it takes some of the gusto out of the game, doesn't it? Whereas with cricket, it's like, no, we're going to take our time, we're going to get it right. Everyone's like sort of standing, waiting anyway.
Yeah.
Third umpire for sure.
Yeah.
You?
I'd agree, but only purely because of the technology. I think the technology is what makes it easier to be a third umpire, like with Snicko and Hotspot and this and that. That's what I think. If there was the equivalent of that in footy, I think.
Well, they've got Snicko on the goalpost.
Oh yeah, true. Mm-hmm. It's just, I don't know. It just seems like it would be easier, like with the technology.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what kind of goes back to what I was saying about the fact that it's been around for longer. They've had time to develop and figure out what works and what doesn't necessarily work.
Yeah.
And just to clarify my comment as well, I know that when the review goes to the ARC, obviously they've been asked to make a decision by the umpires.
Yeah.
But cricket, the players are asking, if it's a referral, the players are asking for clarification.
Yeah.
So it just that's an easy one for me. That's an easy decision to choose.
Money!
Alrighty, time for my mate's multi. So, my legs from last week. Leg 1, I said 3 teams will score less than 100 points this weekend in the AFL finals. 6 out of 8 teams scored less than 100 points.
You should have said more than 3.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
Or less? No, more than 3.
More than 3. More than 3 will score less. Yeah.
But you didn't. You just said 3.
I didn't.
You fucking idiot. Is it your first time?
What's that?
Is it your first time in My Mate's Multi?
That I've done that?
No, have you been here before? You should know it's more than or less than.
I guess so. I just thought that would have been an easy leg, you know? I don't want to
whenever you're going for an exact number.
Yeah, I know. But it's more dicey, which makes it more fun, I reckon. Anyway, leg 2. A player from the Zimbabwe cricket team will score a century within the next 2 games. No, they got absolutely rolled in game 2. And I remember I was like, this is the motivation they need. I sent that to you.
Because I said it to you with the screenshot when they were rolled for 98. I'm like, they failed to do it as a team. And you're like, this is the motivation they need for someone to step up and score a century.
They didn't, but they won.
They didn't need to.
Exactly. But no, none from 2. And leg 3, Russell Westbrook will not be a Laker next week. No, he's currently still a Laker. So none from 3.
Nicely done. The season ain't too far away. I think it's the end of this month, start of next month, the NBA season. So it won't be too long before it's upon us.
Yes.
My legs from last week, I said that there will be between 88 and 92,000 at the MCG on Saturday.
Yes.
And there was 91,525. So just in that.
Yep.
So 1 from 1. Leg 2, I said that Simulation 2 will remain intact. So Simulation 2 from episode 54.
Choose Your Own Adventure.
Choose Your Own Adventure.
Yeah.
I said that would remain intact, and that is not the case.
Yes.
I can't remember which game.
I think we thought Richmond was going to beat Brisbane or something.
I think that's what the AI think. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. So the AI.
The AI said, yeah.
Well, technology, mate. Don't trust it.
Fucking technology. Okay, so 1 from 2. And then leg 3, I said I will not have a hangover at any point this weekend. So last weekend.
Yep.
And that got up, not hungover.
Good job.
Didn't have any beers at the footy. Went and watched the Premier League with my brothers. But only had a couple. Was all good.
Nice.
All good, mate. So
Good
2 out of
mate.
3.
Nice.
Averaging 1 out of 3 though between them.
Yeah, when you put us both together, we're stable.
We like
1
it.
out of 3. We
Anyway,
do like that.
This week, mate.
This week, leg 1. 3 different states will be represented in the prelims this year.
So you reckon Brisbane? No. So one of Brisbane or Freo will win because Sydney are already in. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Freo is what you.
Wow.
Well, no, do you go for your current bandwagon?
Wow.
Or the call that you've said all year.
Wow. I don't know.
Well, I
want both of them to make it, but I can't. I could say at least 3 different states, but
you didn't.
But I didn't because
we just spoke about this.
Because it's more dicey this way.
That's not a defence.
All right, leg 2. The leading wicket taker of the Australia versus New Zealand ODI series will be a spinner.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You just piggybacked off Milo?
No.
You haven't read. Don't worry. Carry on.
Leg 3. The Chicago Sky will have more assists than the Connecticut Sun in their WNBA semi-final this week.
You're going to tune in and watch that?
Probably not.
No?
But I will check the scores and check the assists.
Check the old box score.
Check the old box score.
All right, we'll see what happens there. Mine from this week, and I asked that question because I had written mine in before you this week. So I said leg 1, the top 2 wicket takers for the Australia-New Zealand series will both be Australian. So we both kind of referenced that, but that's all right. Leg 2. Bailey Fritsch and Charlie Cameron will kick the same amount of goals when they verse each other. Okay. This weekend. I don't know if it's Friday or Saturday.
Friday, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. And then leg 3, no team will score over 100 points this week. Is it the semi-finals? Is that what they... Yeah, it is the semi-finals.
Semi-finals, yeah.
So no team will score over 100.
There you go.
Week 1 of the finals done and dusted, and we're done for another week as well.
We are.
We'll get up and out of here in just a tick. Just before we do, though, you would have seen on our Insta page, we've got a bit of a competition going, don't we?
Is this our first competition?
It is our first competition. It's probably a little remiss of us to wait until this part of the episode to plug it. But a cracking meme template has arisen, courtesy of your missus. She's been kind enough to send it across to me.
Yes.
So we've had a couple of rippers come through early. Yep. And we're going to keep the competition open for a few weeks yet. So we'll keep reminding, we'll keep plugging, and keep those memes filtering throughout September. We'll maybe run it until grand final weekend or something like that.
Yeah.
Seems.
Have our own competition.
Yeah.
Within. Yeah.
There's some rippers up. You've seen them, obviously not on the socials. You weren't aware of the ones that were filtering through. But
no, but you showed me a couple before. Some good content there.
And early doors as well. So it's already tough to make a decision. But keep sending them into our DMs, and we'll try and figure out how we decide the winner. Hey?
Yeah. Keep sending them in and keep kicking goals.